Well, happy Sunday. It's me again. Uh, it is Sunday, the 11th of August. It is um, Journal 136, T+131. Finally figured out that there are 5 days in between the two numbers, so it's a little slow on the uptake, I guess, but that'll have to do. Uh, it's a beautiful Southern California afternoon, a little bit cooler than it's been, but starting to warm up towards another week of sun and high temperature. As I mentioned the other day, I'm working diligently on the press release for Misfire, the book, and it's an adventure. I got to tell you, I'm on the fourth iteration of the second version, recognizing that I'll have to craft two more versions of the press release, one for the construction industry, because the lead character is a small contracting business owner, and one for the automotive repair community or the automotive aftermarket, because the co-lead character is an automotive repair shop owner and operator. So I guess we'll have all these different versions for press releases, and they're important in getting the word out on the book, so that hopefully it'll generate some interest and result in some opportunities to talk about the book and what it's all about, and the impact it can have on someone's life, which is the reason I wrote it in the first place, is to try and create a tool that an individual, particularly small business owners and entrepreneurs, could use to help regulate their lives more intelligently, so that it's not always chaos and crisis and damage control that they're dealing with, and that through discipline and determination they can get a little bit ahead of that. But that's not really the primary cause for what I'd like to talk about today, and that is doing what you say you're going to do, which may sound odd, but it has a lot to do with all the D words that I really like to focus on so much, because it makes so many other people uncomfortable. Words like discipline and determination and dedication. Words like that. And the ability to recognize the importance of a response. One of my favorite quotes, and it's a quote that appeared quite often in my writing and my seminar work over the years, is a quote from Steve Marinucci, who was one of the former coaches of the San Francisco 49ers, and he was at a press conference, and somebody happened to notice that he wasn't wearing a watch, and that he had never been noticed wearing a watch, that he was always without that particular single-use device. And when they asked him about it, his answers intrigued me, and it's one of the reasons that I've shared it so many times over the years. He said it's always now. I know that. I know it's always now, and now is the best time to do anything. So wearing a watch is kind of irrelevant, which basically means do it now. And I found over the years that for me, it's far easier for me to respond to a task, regardless of its origin, if it's a worthy task, if it's a task worth doing, as soon as I possibly can. I mean, if not immediately after it surfaces, then certainly within a reasonable time period, which is 48 hours. It's been called, the law of diminishing intent. And if you can get your head around that, it's really an important law to be familiar with. Not maybe as important as gravity, but right up there. The law of diminishing intent suggests that if you don't do something within the first 48 hours you think you'd like to do it, it just flat ain't going to get done. Too many things will get stuck in between, and it'll fall to the bottom of the to-do list, and consequently it'll ultimately evaporate. And whatever it is, if it doesn't get done within the first 48 hours, according to the law of intent, it's not likely to get done. And I don't know about you, but I can tell you for a fact that as far as I can tell, it's incredibly accurate when it comes to my experience. And it's one of the main reasons that I agree with Marinucci that now is the best time to do anything. You want to email a friend, you want to call a friend on the telephone, you want to do whatever it is you want to do. If you don't do it immediately, it's just not going to happen. There's always too many reasons why it couldn't or shouldn't or wouldn't or whatever. And that's, I guess that's one of my, one of the things I'd like to whine about today is that, I have a fairly large network of individuals I know and I have worked with in the past. They are good people, professional, caring, dedicated, determined, disciplined folks. And I've enjoyed working with all of them over the years. Now, realistically, my involvement in pretty much everything has been, with the exception of writing the book, completing the book, has been limited, marginal to a degree, because I've been focusing on my primary myelofibrosis, on the disease itself, what the impact of it is, the anemia, lack of energy, fatigue, all of those things, and consequently, once the shop was sold and I was no longer actively involved in the industry, I sort of dropped off the face of the earth to some degree. Still writing for the magazine, still writing for the publishing company I serve, and the readers that I serve, but certainly not to the extent I've been active before. Now it's interesting, because you don't take on a project like introducing this book unless you really believe that it's critically important for the greatest number of people who could benefit from it to be exposed to it. And to that end, there are people of influence that I know, certainly within my industry, within the automotive aftermarket, that could help distribute that message. And the thing that's been interesting to me has been the response. I won't throw an adjective in front of it. I'll just call it the response. Almost to the extent I've reached out to different people, the response has been almost identical, and that is, let's find a time we can talk about this. I'll get back to you. And then, unfortunately, they're abducted by aliens or whatever, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that we're not going to reach out to their viewers or their readers or their constituencies. We're still going to do that because it's an important part of the audience I envisioned for the book, and we're going to do it anyway. But it's just interesting that the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and a lot of people think or really want to or believe that they're going to do that, and then they don't. I'd almost rather people just be honest and say, screw off. I mean, leave me alone. I got enough stuff to do. I'm too busy now. Why are you bothering me? Go away. I wouldn't like it. It wouldn't make me smile. Probably lock my jaws and make me grit my teeth. But I'd have respect for the person who was honest enough to say that and honest enough to do that. If you're one of those people and you're watching this, take it personally. It's okay. I don't have a problem with that. You can call me up and tell me what a jerk I am, and I will have won either way because you'd have to call me to tell me. Otherwise, I think it's something important for all of us to consider, because if we're surrounded with people who don't think whatever it is that is important to us is of any importance to them at all, we may be involved with the wrong folks. And that's something to think about. Take a deep breath, go sit underneath a beautiful shade tree, cross your legs, put your thumb and index finger together and take a deep breath and ponder these things. As always, I'd be really interested in your feedback. Till tomorrow, stay well, take care. Look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.